so well. 45 second half points isn't what you've been used to seeing here during this winning streak. What changed in the second half?
Yeah, well, obviously the first 5 minutes of the second half, they went on that run and got a little impatient offensively more than anything. But a big part of the game is like finishing the half and then starting the second half. And we've been pretty good at the start of second halves this year, and obviously we weren't, but a lot of that had to do with them. I thought they played really well, made shots, did some good things. We had some good looks there where it didn't go down. But we mess up our assignment at the end of the first half and didn't do what we were supposed to, and we give up a 3. And then we fall down to start the second half, give up another 3. And so now they got it at 10 instead of it being at 16, right? And then we struggled to score there. But I thought we were getting pretty quality shots at that time. We'll see when I go back and watch. More than anything, a lot of the things that we talked to our guys about is just not getting frustrated when you get good shots and you miss them. But your margin of error is going to be different here. You're not scoring the basketball, but don't look at it like what we're doing is wrong. Stay process based and stay with it. But we had to do a better job on them. We had to do a better job guarding them at that time. Bruce got to the middle a couple times, and we wanted to keep it out of the middle. But they have good pieces. They have a good team. Obviously, I told our guys they were 2-5 coming in, but 3 possessions different. They're 5-2 in the league. They've lost a lot of close games. Devin Royal being out the last game really hurt them. That really helped them, coming back in. But, when you force somebody into 18 turnovers and you out-rebounded by 6 in the first half, you've put yourself in a pretty good position, especially when you only turn it over 11 times. We just had to do a better job, finishing at the rim. We had the ball at the rim, especially the last 4 or 5 minutes of the game. We had 3 straight possessions where we're 3 feet from the rim and we got nothing out of it. And once again, that's what you want, right? That's where you want the ball. That's the shots that you want. We just got to do a better job converting.
Matt, you were talking about those threes that Thornton made. The ones later in the game, a lot of the ones Parsons made, did you see common denominators as to why he was able to get that open that repeatedly? And
who's that?
Parrish, I'm sorry.
No, he just had triple threat threes. He just squared us up and jabbed one time and shot it. The other time just kind of paused and shot it. We had to break his rhythm. We were right there on those last 2 threes. But you can't just let somebody, shoot those basketball. Fletch had to break his rhythm there, and that's what we always talk about, not letting them catch the basketball, not letting a jab take you away from, getting them out of rhythm or keeping it there, So, but give him credit, man. He's a streaky guy, but you're up to that point, he's already hit 4. So that's what streaky guys are. When they miss them, they'll get away from it. When they make them, they're going to hunt them. And we just had to do a better job there.
Hey, Matt, your turnovers were 24. You were plus 24, but their 3-point shots balanced that out almost to 0.
Right.
Let's talk about the West Coast and coming back and only having a few days. Right. I thought you guys lost your focus at the start of the second half. Do you think having that trip out west did a little of that to your team?
I think when you sit there and get worked up about things that you can't control. But it's part of it. I thought we did a good job at Washington and Oregon of playing hard and being determined and guarding and doing things. And then you travel back, and that's just part of it, right? It's going to happen to everybody, and it's not something that's, everybody's going to be able to travel. It's the hardest on the West Coast teams. It's a lot harder for them than it is for anybody else. They travel a lot more miles than we do. But we just have to be better. You just finish at the rim better, defend a little bit better, execute a little bit better. And then, when people play you in a drop, you're not going to get as many threes. You're just not. And now it's not that big a deal. Just make good decisions and take good shots. And we've played against both. We've played against guys that are aggressive with their heads. We've played against guys that flatten it out, and then guys that, that drop more. So,
Matt, when Mobley hit that last 2, did you guys know what the score was? It looked like they
kept changing it. Yeah, and so I knew what the score was, and then it actually changed, and it went down. It gave us a point. It was the difference was 3, and then when it popped up, the difference was 2. And so then when we said something to him that the score was wrong, I don't think they realized it. I think that's a difficult thing for an official. It's not their job. They have to have a pulse on the score, right? But when you're running and your things are going on, sometimes that was. But yeah, we We knew what the actual score was, yeah. But then when you look up there, you're like, well, maybe they had, something wrong before, right? So like you're just trying to gauge where you're at, especially when you run out of timeouts. When you run out of timeouts, it's, you got to be able to pass that along to your guys so they know exactly if we got to go for a 2 or a 3 if you get in that situation.
You already mentioned the one at the end of the half, but they beat the buzzer with 4 threes.
Yes.
In the big picture of this game, how much did that matter? And was that them having one of those nights, or was that Purdue not defending until the very end of the shot clock?
I'd have to watch it. Like Sean Stewart obviously is 0 for 1 on the year from 3, and what they're running on that out of bounds play is not for him. And we took that away. We took it all away, and then he did a great job of popping and being a receiver, and that was a huge shot, like right there. I don't know, like off the top of my head, the 3 actual, like what happened on those 3, so I'd have to watch it. So, but yeah, it's 12 points, right?
Matt, you're up 16 late in the first half, and that's with Braden having to sit for an extended period of time. I don't know how much it affected, obviously, the outcome of the game, but what you got from Jakari and CJ tonight, kind of the balance of what they gave you tonight and how important seeing that is on a night when Braden has to sit.
Right. I thought they did a good job, and that's kind of, it's why Miles didn't play as much, is because when they were pressing, they were trying to take Braden away or take our other point away. So we wanted, more ball handlers in there at that time. But no, I thought they both did a good job and, did a good job defending. And there's always things that you can learn from. And especially when you get into kind of like late game situations and things of that nature defensively. But I thought CJ and Jakari did some good things. Obviously, Jakari made his free throws, made those 2 threes. That was a huge 3 in that second half that he made and really got us going. We had a hustle play in the first half that Trey got and then, kicked it out to him and got another 3. And it kind of shows you what defensively they were doing, because Jakari gets one of them on a scramble. He gets another one in transition, and we only take 9 threes. And that's what people have always tried to do, against us is try to take our attempts away. And that's why you see Trey open up so much. When you see the pocket pass and you see them staying, and you're like, why is he always open on that shovel? Because they're going to live with that instead of that spray out 3. Because if they want to come over and help as we put a single side away, now he's going to be able to make that pass if they overhelp. And they stayed home on our shooters on those. So then, he's got to get more opportunities. And that's what I've tried to explain to you guys through the years. And I mean, through the last couple of years, is that like, when you see that, you're going to see a lot of attempts from Braden Smith, and you're going to see a lot of attempts from Trey. They shot 30 times between them. You're going to see more of that. When people hedge us, or they switch it, or they do whatever, now you're going to see a balance of shots a little bit better than you would when people play a drop like that.
Just with the 18 turnovers and the pressure that created those, might that have also contributed to just being out of position on the second half rebounding margin and the open threes? Yeah,
and that, I'll have to watch, but like that normally happens, right? If you have to overhelp and you don't have clean rotations, you're not going to have clean block-out responsibilities. There is no question. I don't know if that's the case or not. I'll have to watch. But there's no question they were quicker to the ball than we were in the second half. I thought we were quicker to the ball than them in the first half. I thought some things went our way. And I think that's what happens. When you see that ball go in and you gain confidence, I think it helps other things. I think that helped us in the first half, and I think that helped them in the second half.
Matt, one thing I think your team did very well last year was didn't celebrate the wins too much, didn't get too low on the losses.
Yeah.
And it seems like that's kind of a trait, just hearing Jakari talk about what he saw from the locker room afterwards. How much value is that when you're down 6-8 points with a couple minutes left, that you still believe this game's not over, we can win, and,
right.
and you guys put yourself in a chance to send this to overtime?
Yeah, you don't want to get into that foul game, and obviously they fouled us there at the end when we're up 3. You don't want to get in that foul game too quick, especially when, like, the guys that are catching it, like, when you're dealing with Mobley and Thornton and guys that are really good free throw shooters, and obviously Devin Royal, I think he was like 74 going the game, and he made 8 for 10 and did a great job. But yeah, you just, you get on a win streak, like we hadn't lost since Auburn, and then, like, you just want to move to the next game. And then when you lose, like, you got to be able to look at some wins and kind of pick at yourself when you win, because you always pick at yourself when you lose. But if you really want to improve, you got to still pick at yourself, And so that's what we try to do with our guys. It's just like we're doing some really good things sometimes when we lose a game. and like keep that in perspective. But we also have some struggles. Like we weren't perfect, obviously, against Washington and Oregon, but yet we won the game. Like don't look at it that way. Like try to make improvements from there. So that's what we've always tried to instill in our guys, and understanding. Like let's learn not just when we lose a game, right? Let's learn when we win a game, but also like look at some things from a pretty clean perspective. When like in this game here, like there were some good things that happened for us. Like the ball was getting to where we wanted to get the ball. We didn't convert a lot of times. We got to do a better job of converting. But I thought from a process-based standpoint, we over dribbled a little bit, got a little bit too deep sometimes. But the ball was getting in position for us to score, and we just didn't convert enough. Thank you. Yep.